Hello, Stefanos. Welcome back on the podcast. Can you please tell us a bit about the US maritime nationalism?
Sure. Since the early days of the Trump administration, there's been a renewed focus on shipbuilding and U.S. maritime operations. This came up early, or actually technically at the very end of the Biden administration, with the USTR's 301 process, which got a lot of attention, which initially was going to have fleet-wide penalties, for vessels with any Chinese-built ships. This was later walked back a bit to the penalties on ships specifically built in China, as well as ships owned by Chinese companies. This really came to a head over the summer as the program was going to be, implemented in the early fall. Along with this USTR 301 process. We've also seen legislation in Congress with the Ships Act that has similar goals of promoting U.S. maritime. We've also seen an executive order from the president about shipbuilding in the U.S., as well as promoting investments in shipbuilding, as well as the U.S. maritime sector. Parallel to that, the Federal Maritime Commission, which is a small agency of the U.S. government, undertook over the summer what they called a flags of convenience investigation, where they received evidence and held hearings about what they deemed to be flags of convenience, flags that are quite popular in the maritime industry, as opposed to national flags like the U.S. So the sum total of this really was the summer of 2025. I think we can call the summer of maritime nationalism and protectionism in the U.S. This fizzled out, towards the end of 2025, um, particularly with the 301, measures being put on hold. But these could certainly reappear anytime in the coming months. The hold on the 301 port fees was for a year and agreed to with China once they placed countermeasures. So there's an old adage in Washington that once something's been written down on a piece of paper, it could come back. So I think it's important for all of us to look at the lessons from this summer of nationalism or summer of protectionism, and think about what changes it could mean for the maritime industry as a whole.
Thank you very much.